Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome to the best of 5 grand finals between Hero and Dark. This is the Korean StarCraft League number 69. It's nice to see that they managed to get this far. Korean StarCraft League initially got hosted as a way to, I don't want to say save the Korean scene, but to support the Korean scene at least. Give it some online events. Back in a time when we weren't sure whether GSL was happening. I do recall that GSL got announced afterwards. Of course, as of this moment, we haven't seen any global StarCraft League content for well over half a year. As the entire StarCraft circuit is kind of slowing down a little bit. We're waiting for any type of announcement whatsoever at this point. But I have good hopes, and until we get those big offline events back, at least we're going to have some nice online action here. Dark versus Hero, best of 5, starting on Arrowholm. This is one of the maps, I've mentioned it before, I'm going to mention it again. It's one of the maps that has been added into the rotating map pool by tournament organizers. One of the really cool things, of course, about no major institution being in charge of the circuit right now, is that a lot of other tournament organizers feel way freer to kind of add in different maps into the map pool, or to change some of the rules around. And I think that's a healthy development here in StarCraft 2. I think one of the things that definitely is very cool to see is just newer, fresher maps. And whether those are implemented on the ladder, I don't even care so much about it. It's just cool to see them in tournaments. A little bit higher variety in that case. Pro Parans has been okay out of Hero so far, as this first Overlord is just going to poke its little head in. Now, what is this Overlord actually looking for? It's like, probably wants to get a confirmation on this Nexus. Like, it's nice to know that there's a base there. I'm not sure what else it could be. I guess like a proxy Nexus or something. That would be one hell of a play, by the way. You just full wall in the front, and then you proxy your first Nexus over here. I think that must be really confusing if you do that. I really wonder how Zergs would respond. I think the most natural response is to just send links around the map to go and scout, figure what's going on, You want to know what's kicking off, but yeah, it ain't easy. Yeah, second thing you want to kind of figure out as a Zerg is like, hey, is this warp gate starting instantly? Like the moment this Cybercore finishes, is that warp gate starting up instantly? And we saw it didn't start instantly. That usually indicates some type of Stargate play. Now, if it does start instantly, it usually indicates some type of Twilight Council opener. Ooh, this pylon is going to take quite a beating. Look at this. 200 HP remaining. We still have 10 seconds out on this thing. I think this pylon will actually fall. This pylon is going to take some serious damage at least. Okay, we're going to get a cancel. Maybe not going to fall. Maybe it is going to fall. It's going to be close. I think if Dark wouldn't have done that little move where he moved towards the bottom side, 8 HP is all that remains here. 8 HP. I think he could have taken it. I think he at least lost a shot or two there when he did the little move command towards the bottom. Oh, that's sick. That is sickening, actually. 8 HP on that pylon. We now have a backup pylon, a backup gate, and a Twilight Council coming in. This is an Oracle opener. Dark has gone in, sees no second Oracle. At least I think he saw the lack of a second Oracle. And this is such a fat giveaway here. If you're a Zerg player, you see the lack of a second Oracle, you know there's going to be some quick tech behind this. Whether it's going to be Twilight Council Robo, or just a Twilight Council, maybe even a Fleet Beacon second Stargate. Like, all of these are possible / viable. For Hero, it's just going to be that quick Twilight Council. Most likely, if I'm guessing, it's going to be for Glaives. Ooh, this pylon is still very low. Let's not forget about that. And now we see Dark targeting that down. It's going to get into this base, or at least it's going to open up the base for maybe a potential run. Like, it's going to be Blink. This is a rapid Blink opener. Holy crap. When is that Blink gonna finish then? Minute or two from now, with maybe 100 seconds? Wow. Like 6 minutes in, your Blink's gonna finish. If we put on some Chrono Boost, we can maybe hit like 550, 540. Do you even have enough Stalkers at that point to really do something with it? I don't know. For now, Oracle has killed a single worker. A couple of links have gone down, of course. So it's often difficult just to look at the workers killed count to kind of figure out, like, hey, what exactly is going on over here. Because we see Dark build quite a few links, which does lower his overall drone count. 6 more Overlords are on the way here, by the way, which is just great stuff. few more drones as well coming in. We have a Roach Warren, double gases, Lair as well, kicking in here. And the double Stalkers will deny this Overlord from scouting any further. Of course, the Overlord has already seen pretty much everything it needed. It saw the fact that there's a fast Twilight upgrade. Roach Warren as a response. We have an Evo Chamber coming down as well. I'm kind of curious how Dark wants to play this out from here on out. Like it's difficult to guess. It's going to be range upgrade. It's going to be melee upgrade. I'm guessing range upgrades because usually melee upgrades are researched a little bit quicker. This Overlord's actually gonna die. It's going to potentially supply block him in the future. Don't have a lot of larvae available. 4 more Overlords coming in right now. So Blink is quickly disappearing away from this map. 2 Oracles and 8 Stalkers. That's all we have right now. There's no fort base here, by the way, out of Dark. Which is kind of weird. Actually, it's really weird. And that's actually kind of making me believe that Dark might want to try to go for some type of 60 drone all-in. We have like 57 workers right now. 4 gas, no fort. Fort is going to go down right now. The moment Hero scouts this, the moment Hero figures this out, it's going to be a huge moment for Hero. Because at that point, he's going to be up in gases, he's going to be up in workers, and he has the information that he has all those things, that he is ahead in those things. And being ahead in those things is often not so hard if you're being all in, but figuring it out, now that's the truly big deal. So here Hero's actually going to just rotate towards the right side. He's not even going to bother really with that hatchery. He says, hey, that hatchery, I don't think I care about it so much. I just want to see if I can clear some units before you hit on my side of the map. Dark here is kind of going for a base trade. This is a bait fort. Look at this. Is Hero going to be a massive fish over here? I think he might just be. Hero is actually just walking on the right side. And now he's going to have a problem at home because the roaches and lynx are arriving. Recall will need to be used instantly. Do we have oracles? Oracles are on the other side of the map still as well. This is frustrating because I don't think this is a build that should have worked. The bait of the fort base absolutely working here. Hero is like, hey, that's a nice hatchery. It would be a shame if I were to kill it. And Dark's like, all right. Would be a shame indeed if you would lose everything at home at the same time, because these roaches, they're chewing through the stalkers, they're chewing through these probes as well right now, as their worker count is quickly plummeting. Another stalker warp in over here. Can we blink away? Yes, we can. Do we have energy recharge? No, it's not available anymore. One of these oracles got recharged already. I do believe that Hero is going to survive in the end, but this push went way better than Dark ever could have hoped for. Now, of course, going better isn't quite what you want. You want a win. If you thought you were gonna win massively and you only end up winning a little bit, then technically it went worse than you expected, but at least you have a win. Right now it went better than expected, but there's no win here quite yet. Stalker count is continuing to increase. Perhaps the one thing that this push did do is give Dark a little bit of breathing room. We see him adding in a couple more workers. Hydra then +2 range as well. He's going up to 6 gases himself right now, as Hero is adding in a prism and more zealots. Do we have charge? Yes, we have charge. Do we have a Templar Archives? Yes, we have a Templar Archives. Ooh, okay. So, in my mind, all that Hero really needs to do is, yeah, get 1 or 2 more big zealot warp-ins. You probably want to send some zealots towards the left side of the map or in a little prism going somewhere, and then start Storm as well as your first set of Templars. You could say, why doesn't he just keep adding in more and more Stalkers? Is because the more Stalkers you add, the longer it's going to take until you have a decent Templar count out. Stalkers are very gas heavy for, one of the basic units, and you can often deal a lot of damage with just those Zealots as well. So just having those, warping them in, allows you to get some of these Templars at home, start gathering this energy already. And that is going to be absolutely vital for Hero's chances of survival, because I think that Dark is going for round 2 over here. He's still ready to go. He has a quick recovery time, this guy does. 160 supply already. Hero now trying to take a fort base is going to instantly get denied. This is just going to be lair all in into lair all in. So we started with the roaches, 60, or was it 57 workers. Now we're going to go roach hydra and about 63 workers. He is adding a couple more though. So, oh, it's even infestation pitting. Okay. I mean, it's allowed. There's no rules against this. But usually we see a more committed Dark. This is kind of a multi-basketed Dark. He's like He has a bunch of eggs, and he's actually splitting them over 2 baskets today. That is very rare to see. This 4th once again is going to get denied, but this right side army is also going to die. And I think this right side army is a little bit more valuable than this 4th base is. Could be wrong about that, but I don't think I am. Because it still feels like Dark's main chance of winning here is going to be to try and kind of kill his opponent. So losing army and then only forcing a cancel is not great. These Templar are perhaps in a little bit of trouble. Double Storms, good pickups here on that Prism. 2 Archons in the back, not really helping out. I think Dark is still just going to chew through this army. There we go. Prism gets sniped as Dark magically kind of wins this game here at 160 supply. Having that infestation pit behind it gave him the backup plan, but he said, hey, I don't think you're strong enough. I think I can actually just kill you. And Hero said, please don't. And Dark did anyway. So +2 Roach Hydra here, 11 minutes into the game, is going to get the first map victory for Dark in a very odd game in which it felt like he was so far behind. But he wins. And I think if you ask people about what Dark's greatest skill is, I really do believe it is winning games, which is a phenomenal skill to have as a StarCraft 2 player or any type of competitive player. People often ask me, Harstem, what skills would you like to improve? You know, would you maybe like to improve your bad looks, your awful micro, your mediocre macro, or your god-awful decision making? And I say no. Although all of these things could, use a little bit of a boost, I just like to win more. It's like, it does make a lot of sense, Harstem. Yeah, thanks, guys. Because that is the one thing I am good at. Common sense. It's one of my main skills. Was born with it as well. Love to see it. We're gonna have a proxy hatch. This is something I've seen him do more frequently as of late. This is the hatch pool, as the kids call it. Oh, is he actually gonna proxy it? No way, right? I was wondering whether he's gonna build it in the wall or in front, because usually you build it here in this particular position. This didn't quite work out. Frustrating for Dark. No doubt, because this is a lot of cash that you're wasting, right? And there's also a lot of time that you're wasting on this spawning pool. Okay, he's gonna try to steal a gas. It's also not working. This has been one of the most useless excursions that Dark has been on in his life. Or at least this drone has been on his life, and I'm not sure how much longer that life is gonna last. Usually this type of drone is now gonna end up dying. He might try to proxy a hatch here on the left. This is something I've seen in the past as well. I'm not personally a huge fan of that because it doesn't really delay anything. So if you were to proxy a hatch right now, Hero already knows, right? He knows hey, there is a hatch over here. Actually, he hasn't seen the natural even. He must have lost the scouting probe. Okay, the scouting probe did end up dying. In that case, actually a proxy hatch over here is not so bad because there could be some type of threat out of that hatchery, because you don't know if there's a roach warren follow-up or there's going to be a lot of links. You've already kind of lost the mining time on the drone, and I might as well build a fake hatchery with it. It doesn't matter so much in that case. I wouldn't have minded it, but yeah, the ideal goal here, just the general goal, is to block your opponent's natural from going down at a normal, a normal timing. But Hero sent his probe down a little bit earlier, probably aware of the fact that Dark has been playing this particular opener for the past few weeks, days. I feel like the Korean meta game shifts very rapidly often. So one day you'll have, Dark doing this type of stuff, and the next day Hero is already responding to it. And it kind of ping-pongs back and forth, they'll rapidly develop how they play against one another. There's some internal mind games that are often difficult to understand, and it's often very nuanced little things as well. Sending the probe down 5 seconds faster, which does not sound like a big deal, but generally at the highest level of StarCraft, you're optimizing for everything, right? So sending a worker down 4 seconds early every single game, that's just costing you minerals that you don't want to lose. So if you're playing against someone that never does a hatch block, why the hell would you do that? Well, simply said, you don't. That's why we saw Hero do it now, because he knows that Dark has been hatch blocking a little bit. Double Adapter here on the other side of the map. This map is Starchild, by the way. We haven't really discussed it. Once again, one of the new maps. Does look fairly standard, though. Double rich Vespine geysers? Holy crap. The Zerkabal has been bribing map makers, it looks like. Who thought this was a good idea? I'm not even gonna look at this oracle. Double rich Vespine geysers. So I guess the expansion path here is going to be 4, 5. What the hell is here? Okay, it's just a standard base set. This base is way harder to take, no? Actually, it could be a 4th, I guess. If you expand in like a line, 3, 4. And you have a high ground here, so I don't think so. Freaking double Rich Vespi. Now, the reason why that's so good for Zerg is because it's much easier for Zerg to take these further away bases. So they get a very big boost in gas very quickly, right? Like you take this base as your 5th, and then you double gas over here. You're practically mining 10 gas, and you don't have to take these 2. You're saving quite a few drones there. 6 drones of mining, which is freaking huge. Like that is a very big deal. If you go for like a lurker thing or something, 10 gas, Mutalisk, 10 gas, I'm loving it. Yeah. Hell yeah. Those vibes are immaculate, my dear friends. Absolutely immaculate. Forged Twilight. High adept count. This is what, 7? This is a weird number again. This is a typical hero move out as well. It's like you look at this and this build doesn't have a lot of value. Like this does not look like a build where you're going to kill someone. This is the type of build where hopefully you're going to be capable of like taking out like 5, 6, maybe 7 drones and create space for your oracles to get another 3 or so. But so far not a lot of space has been created, and on top of that not a lot of drones have fallen. It's going to get 4 drones total with the help of the oracles. It force out a lot of links, I guess. We've seen 12 links have gone down total. 12 drones have gone down total. So majority of the damage has actually been dealt before already, rather than just now in this moment. A lot of that on those 3 oracles, of course. Gateway counts continuing to increase. Once again, I'm not a huge fan, not hugely fond of Dark's opener here. I think if we were to kind of compare it to a standard opener, I'd say this doesn't look that good. I'd actually say it looks pretty freaking bad. It's gonna go for the fast spire. In that case, this is your 4th. Like, this has to... It is crazy to me that he's expanding towards the left side. This is just ignorance. It can't be anything else. This is an ignorant Dark. He is not aware of the fact that there is a double Rich Vespine geyser on this right side. Because there's no way in hell you're going to be expanding left side. Especially if you're playing Mutalisk. Like, Muta is such a gas-heavy unit. Same with the Baneling, which is probably going to be the secondary unit that you'll have. Like, your primary is going to be the Muta, and then secondary is going to be the Ling Bane. I really hope this Spire does not get spotted. Oh, here we go. Nice denial of Scout. Very well done. Like, this as a 5th is just freaking bananas to me. If you're double expanding, we're expanding 4, 5, buddy. That is just how it is. I don't give a crap whether you have creep over there or not. Like, it just doesn't matter to me whatsoever. Dark here could try to go for a full-on base trade. I think trying to defend here is going to be quite tricky. It actually is going to be quite tricky. There's only 43 links out. This base is going to get absolutely knackered, destroyed, blasted, bopped by these stalkers. Bop. 11 mutas are now coming out. This is a scary moment. So ideally you don't want your little axe to get spotted. And we see Hero, he kind of feels like something is wrong. It's like, hey, this is a pure Ling Queen army. That feels weird, no? That feels freaking weird. So yeah, we get a revelation on here. I wouldn't even mind cancelling the egg, the 1 muta, but I think he's going to hit before already. So he's managing to sneak in here, Dark is. Oh, that's very cool. 6 more Mutalisk on the way. I really think an expansion towards the right side would be the correct play. At the same time, you have Links here trying to stop these Stalkers. Here come the Mutalisk. How many are we going to be capable of taking out? That is 9, 10 probes falling there at the drop of a hat. 12 probes have gone down. +1 has finished. 7 more Overlords on the way. I am still just absolutely shocked to see the lack of this base being taken. I'm going to keep pointing it out again and again and again. How many workers it saves. How quickly it boosts your gas eco as well. I understand that the base on the right side got taken out and it's scary to expand over here. But boy, if there is such a juicy prize at the end of the road, then God knows I'm walking that road. Like, I am getting there. And I'd probably focus a little bit more of my creep spreading efforts towards that right side of the map in that case as well. But all right, Dark ain't doing it. You know, that's his right. This is right of one of the StarCraft constitutional rights, you know? You got your first, your second... are they the amendments? I think so, right? No, the amendments are changes, aren't they? What do you just call just the first article of the Constitution? You know, the first one is you can do whatever the hell you like. The second one is always complain about mech and skytos, no matter where you go. That one's less well known though. Okay, what the hell is this? I wouldn't actually want to engage into this, by the way, if I'm dark right now. This is kind of a wild move. This is kind of a wild move. The reason why I wouldn't want to engage into this is because your army is very good at base trading, and your army value is going to continue to grow while your opponent is pushing across the map. You have the ability to reroute stalkers into different positions. So going for a straight up engage here feels a little bit scary. Now I do like this. If you can get this Archon, that would be a huge deal. He's not going to be capable of getting the Archon. He's still going to go for a bit of a base trade. I really miss a Baneling Nest here, by the way, because the Zealot count is actually pretty significant. And without that Zealot count there, I think Pureling Muta would probably be good enough. And I understand that he didn't want to get Banelings early because it cuts into your Muta count. But if you get Banelings too late, then it cuts into your, well, into your chances of winning, which I think is more important. So yeah, not a huge fan of not going for a base trade, and then not a huge fan of skipping the Banelings. Here comes a fat Stasis Ward, is going to help out. I think Dark is in a world of trouble. Yeah, GG gets called. Hero wins it. Now, I'm not saying it's an undeserved win, because Hero fought hard for it, and he got it in the end. But it really felt like Dark's unit movement there was not great. I think going for a base trade initially, I much prefer that, especially because Hero's army was still in the middle of the map. So if you just straight up go for a base trade, you have like 5-6 bases, you can probably spine up one of your bases, whether it's going to be the main or like a 5th base or something like that. It's going to make it really difficult for a hero to do anything. You have a lot of links, you have an insane Muta count, which is going to continue to grow, by the way. That's the beauty of base trades often, is where, oh my god, he's going for the same thing again. Once again, wants to go for that hatch block, and Hero once more is just, he's too quick, man. Hero is too fast. You can't catch this guy with your hatch blocks. Oh, that is mighty frustrating here for Hero. For Dark. Yeah, I mean, we've seen this already. The failed hatch block twice in a row now. I kind of forgot to mention it, but it has a big economic impact on the early game of the Zerg. Like, just one less worker. Zergs generally don't scout. So this is quite expensive for them, and it has to be done early as well. So we're looking at like 120, 130, 140 minerals or so that you're paying for this drone scout. Now, it can be worth it if you get that hatch block down. If you start with a hatchery at home, then your second hatch is on the other side of the map, or I guess your third hatch, but the second hatch that you build, you're given one already. Then yeah, it's good for the Zerg, but if you don't get it down, it freaking blows. Like it is an investment in there, absolutely. So we're gonna see like a little bit of a supply block here. We have an Overlord on the way, speed, just a single queen, now the second queen. Like all of this just starting extremely late. Like usually, just for a point of comparison, the first queens pop out at like 236. Okay, 236. But these queens are delayed by. I can't do math, like 25 seconds, something like that. That's a long time. That's a long time to be delayed for a queen. A very, very long time. Okay, 2 links are coming out. Oracle's on the way as well, as this drone's gonna die to the Adept. Puff. Oop. Dies with the doing what it loved most, carrying minerals in its mouth. Stargate as well. Into a Void Ray first. I think this has been one of the greatest things to watch, is that a lot of high-level Protoss players have just started kind of mixing in this Void Ray first as like a tool in there, like just to deny scouting, and then do some unpredictable stuff behind it, and whether that's going to be like some type of charge all-in or Tempest Rush. I've seen that, in particular on this map. Like this is a good Tempest Rush map. Especially if Zergs kind of take this forward base, or they try to do some shenanigans with the gold, and I've seen that. I've seen a lot of shenanigans with the gold. This time it's just going to be Void Ray Oracle. It's hard to kind of figure out what's kicking off though if you're the Zerg player. By the way, Dark with a massive, massive supply block. He's going to have to build 2 Overlord. It wouldn't surprise me if he adds in a 3rd one. Just because he's so frustrated by being a supply block like this. He's like, oh, this blows. Oh, this sucks. Oh, what a huge supply block. Okay, now this hatchery finishes and he can build a couple of drones. It's an expensive supply block there. A very expensive supply block. It's adding in 9 more drones. The Oracle makes its way across the map. Gonna go into Forge Twilight. 2nd gateway. Oh, right, this is all done off a single gateway. Pretty cool. Pretty cute indeed. Oracle's moving into the main. Should not be capable of dealing too much damage. This Spore is positioned perfectly here, by the way. Okay, 1 drone is just going to activate it. Well done. A little bit of mining time lost, but not the end of the world. Stasis wards viable as ever. Lair starts here. 450. That's not a particularly fast lair. It's also not crazy slow, but it's definitely not fast. Like, I've seen slower. I've seen like 6, well, not 6, like 530 lairs or something like that. Especially if they do like a really quick fort hatch, with like maybe a quicker Evo chamber +1 melee. It's definitely a possibility. Let's see what hero's up to. Stalker. Blink +1. 2 more gateways. This Ling is being sent across the map. On his journey to die. Oh, he finds a probe. I'd be highly suspicious of this. Oh, it's just for the... Oh. It's just for the watchtower. That is kind of cute. And Void Ray is going to actually hold this spot as well. Oh. That is a really cool move. I haven't seen this yet in PvZ. I've seen Hero do this a bunch in PvT, but not in PvZ. Now this area is being mined out as well, so he wants to expand. Okay, he's playing both sides of the map here. Meanwhile, what do we have on the side of Dark? A similar type of movement as to what we saw in the first game. Hydra then, 6 gases, no fort base. So 6 gas before fort base. I personally would have preferred seeing him take this as a 4th with it. Because then you can actually stay low drone count and have pretty nutty eco as well. Like, that is the beauty of having a gold, is that you can have pretty nutty eco on a relatively low worker count. You could go lower in workers even in this, and they're like, paf, mine from here, oh yeah, that's great. Boom. But doing just a straight up 69 worker or 68 worker all in. Yeah, let's see if Hero lets him get away with it. We're gonna have a little bit of Blink Stalker pressure here on the map. How many do we have right now? We have 14 Stalkers, we have a Robo Bay, we have a Prism, we have Charge starting, as well as a couple of extra gateways. It's going to boost the number up to 6, I believe this is. So we have 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 6 indeed. Stalkers moving in forward. We have a bunch of Hydras out as well. I just don't think that Dark is going to build any more drones in this game. I think Dark is actually done. He says, okay, this was fun. Time to go. Time to go, buddy. And ideally he hits before Thermal Lens finishes. So I'm not a huge fan personally of Colossus. But if you're, you know, if you're going to be fighting against a Ling Hydra, practically a Ling Hydra all in, Colossus are really not that bad. Add in a couple of sentries, I feel like you're pretty much banging. Once again, Dark is just... He plays really weird StarCraft 2 right now. Just the oddest. Just absolutely the oddest stuff. Like, he has an army that... And like an eco setup that just smells like an all-in to me. And he's gonna go for some type of all-in. But he's also building 10 drones and an infestation pit behind it. And he's not moving across the map. So he's just been mining very little for the past 2.5 minutes or so when he hasn't been building anything. And now he says, okay, this was fun, but it's time for me to go on with my life into Hive and 76 workers. Like, I don't get the point. He's also floating an astronomical amount of cash here. Colossus is actually making its way across the map. This Hydra move out is gonna get spotted. This is so many Hydras though. How does Dark want to fight this? I think Hero does not want to fight this, by the way. Like, if I'm Hero, I probably want to go up to like 150, 160 supply. Actually 170. 160, 170 is what I do. Second, maybe third Colossus. Thermal Lens needs to finish. Can move forward a little bit with these stalkers. Can you poke? Take out an observer here or there. You know, this overseer should be capable of taking... There we go. Spit on that observer. Beautiful stuff. 26 hydras, 19 roaches. Okay, hive. Almost done. I'd like to note that there is no lurker den yet. So, what are we going to be using this hive for? I guess vipers? I guess that's the grand plan here. Like, this is a freaking Heart of the Swarm level strategy. Roach Hydra into Viper. Without lurkers, I am just not feeling the vibes here, if I'm being real honest. I just don't see how you're fighting this art. Like, this is 180 supply of Stalker Colossus. This should be impossible. This should just be impossible. This is a nice flank though. This is as good as it's gonna get for Dark. This is the best fight that he could have wished for, that he could have hoped for. Colossus are kiting backwards. It's gonna go into this little choke right now. New Immortals are showing up as well. This really was as good as it's gonna get. It can't get any better. We see +3 on the way. We see the Hydra boost, the nanomuscular swell, the lunge that the Hydra has gotten in the most recent patch. 3 Vipers on the way, 71 workers. I mean, this is an insane setup here that we're looking at. This is not even a mid-game army. This is almost an early game army. That's how low value it is. It's such a terrible, terrible force of units. Like, he's going to need to work some absolute magic with it. The moment Hero maxes out, I just don't think it is... Even in a fantasy world, you're not going to kill a 200 supply Protoss army with Roach Hydra. That's just not what that army is made for. It just isn't. Like, there's going to be Storms, there's going to be Immortals, there's going to be Colossus. Like, every one of these units is getting countered in like 4 different ways. Every unit in Hero's army is just countering everything at this point, basically. Like, we're gonna have Storms, we're gonna have Colossus, Immortals. Like, he's like 4 different types of splash, insane damage output. What does Dark have? He has like 2 pulley boys, 3 pulley boys. Oh, that was a bad blink. If he catches everything, no. Oh, feedback. Could have seen that coming, not me. We still have 1 Abduct available, or perhaps a Blinding Cloud. It's going to be an Abduct here. So 1 Colossus does get pulled in, but I just don't see this happen over here, if I'm being real honest. I'm just not seeing it happen. We have a 25 Hydra reinforcement right now. 25 Hydra reinforcement. Resources lost in favor of Hero. That is not very surprising. The army comp of Hero is still good. I think the number of units that we have here is a little bit too low. Before we go in, I'd say, hey, clear a bit of creep. Get 2, 3, 4 more Immortals into the mix. Maybe a Templar or 2 as well. I think we're just going to be banging. You can go on here, but it is scary. Because now, you know, you're in your opponent's terrain. You can get flanked here. This is actually kind of scary. I find this very scary. I'm afraid. Okay, he's going to pull 1 Colossus in forward. Storms are good. Do we have any Storms remaining? I think we have 1 more in the chamber. Yep. Ooh, gets a big one as well. Lunges out of it. Now lunges in forward. Could perhaps try and snipe something. We have a lot of kiting back. Without any Storms, though, there's not a whole lot of zoning. Does not seem like Dark wants to continue chasing into this. We do have a Lurker Den done, by the way. I don't think we have Seismic Spines quite yet, but could perhaps consider getting a Lurker or 2. Get that Seismic Spines. Like, Hero, he's just going to max out. He's going to have 6 Immortals. He's going to have, hopefully, some Storms in the mix as well. Again, yeah, there we go. He's going to get at least 1, 2 Storms. Perhaps 3 Storms. Can't lose this base. I don't actually care about this. I don't actually care about this. You're going to need to deal with it, but losing it is not the end of the world. You have a massive Zealot run by going towards the top. Ooh, Hydra's actually going to be in position to deal with that. So will these Roaches. Perhaps a hold position on the drones is going to help. Hold position. Yes, that's a hold position on the drones. Look at these Zealots. They're not really getting through that easily. They are getting through eventually, though. Roach Hydra manages to clear this 5th base. I don't understand how Hydra can play... Sorry, Hydra. How Dark can play a 14-minute game building nothing but Roach Hydra. Like, these Vipers have, like, pulled in, like, 2 Colossus total. He could have been doing this on freaking Lair Tech, for all I care. It's going to lose another base right now, Dark. I don't think he cares so much about it. These lurkers are on the way. Seismic Spine is almost done. Here goes the Observer. Poof. Indeed does get taken out. We have a couple of Templar over here. We have a Templar over here. We're going to have to rebuild our 5th base as well. As these Zealots are walking into the Roach Wall. Dark, once again, at a low worker count, starts a Nidus network. I honestly don't understand how Dark is staying alive. Like, the fact that he still has a, you know, a potential W in his crosshair is crazy to me. Like, he can smell the W already. Like, we're 1 or 2 good moves away from actually just winning. It's going to be difficult because this is a very fierce force here coming out of Hero. This is a good amount of Immortals. We have a Mothership now showing up as well. Hero supply has dropped a little bit, though, to 160. And the lurker count continues to grow. Oh, he wants to go for... you see that? He wants to go for like a recall over the fence. At the same time, Dark's going to send like 20, 30 roaches over here. He's going to get a cancel once again on this base. Lurkers, meanwhile, trying to hold the front. Is not quite going to work. We'll need to give up this position. 9 more workers will die here as well. This base, however, is also falling. That base is also falling. Can we get a snipe here on this Observer? That would be huge. We're not going to get a snipe on the Observer. I think that would be the main way of dealing with this. Now, we still have an Oracle with Revelation, but, you know, that is not as consistent as an Observer is. At the same time, Roach Hydra continues pushing him forward. There's a single lurker here on the far right with a little bit of assistance. We have a lot of cash still in the bank as well for Dark. Does not have any larva, though. Dude, if he can build legit, like, 15 more Hydras right now, I'm not saying he's winning, but he has managed to clear a lot of his opponent's economy. A lot of his opponent's economy is really gone. We're going to have our recall. This army can kind of pull back, just for the moment. Drones managed to stay alive. We have 3 base versus 3 base. Oh, there go a bunch of these Immortals. Here come a couple of Storms. Saving grace. What a silly game this has been. Nothing short of a silly game. Absolutely bonkers. Just Roach Hydra running around. I mean, he's added in the lurkers eventually, and we have this Nidus network now as well. Once again, 6 more lurkers coming in. Immortal count is at 4. Against 7 lurkers, I think this should just be fine. We also have a Colossus here. Stormer should come in soon too. Infestation pit, 2 more gases. Hatch being rebuilt. Okay, here we go. Can we get some pools in? No, we can't. Can't get any pools here. I feel like we've had like no success. Like we legit had 2. Legit had like 2 good pools on the Colossus. 2 Colossus went down. That's it. That really is all there is to it. GG gets called. This hero is going to win this game. Now, if I was Dark, I'd actually be kind of okay with that particular loss. Because everything went god-awful. Like this was probably the worst game in the first like 5-6 minutes or so. First 8 minutes. Honestly, the entirety of the game freaking sucked for him. But through good unit movement and decision making in the later stages of the game, he managed to stay alive for an extremely long time. And if I'm Hero, I'm actually kind of worried. Like, this sounds dumb because you're up 2-1. You're 1 map away from winning the finals. But at the same time, it's like, well, he drone scouted. He's down like 15 seconds in his like regular timings and stuff. Like he's lost a bunch of cash doing all of that. That's terrible for the Zerg. Then he sits on 3 bases on 6 gas, pretends to all in, then techs into Infestation Pit, goes up to 70 workers. Meanwhile, I'm just happily mining away. I have a lot of cash. I have good setups. Yet the game is still close. Like, it ends up being like 160 supply versus 160, 3 base versus 3 base. Like, it ends up being a very scrappy game. So if I'm Hero there, I'm like, well, it wasn't actually that good of a game for him. Like, everything went well, but he kind of got outplayed, you know? Like, Hero got handed a freaking sniper rifle. It had like a range of like 500 meters. And Dark just was sprinting at him with a stick that he found on the ground. And Dark actually managed to deal some serious damage to Hero with that stick. You know, in the end, Hero did manage to shoot him, but it got close. And that should scare the ever-living crap out of you, because you still got to play at least 1 more game against this dude. Next map here is Frostline. which is a beautiful ice map. The features of having bases that are theoretically untakeable for any of the races. I think this is the only base that requires like 2.5, 3 creep tumors just to connect the natural to the third. Like the distance is absolutely staggering. Queens are in no man's land right now. It's going to need to build spores, evo chambers. No? Okay, it's going to keep everything alive, not having to pull any weird tricks there. Well done, out of dark, managing to keep those drones mining for a bit longer. Has some oversaturation on the net, but that is just natural. Fort base comes out quickly. I love this. I'm a huge fan of this. One of the issues that I've been seeing in Dark's play so far in this series has just been the lack of a quicker fort base, and thus a lower drone count automatically. If you don't have a fort base, why do you ever go above 66 workers? It doesn't make any sense. So you don't. Oracles here are actually gonna get a couple of kills on these links, which is really cool. Oh, that's nice movement here, and the shade comes back as well. That's a lot of links killed. I think 9 links. People often, they forget that killing links also has some value. They're like, I'd rather get a drone. It's like, well, if you can get like 6 links or a drone, I think I'd rather kill the link, because they're going to have to rebuild them if you still have adepts alive. Or they're going to have to rebuild them if you're pushing out with stalkers later on, or with a charged Archon timing, or whatever it is you're doing. Dark now moving up to 61 workers, 62 workers I think it is actually going to be. Also higher gas count, but not crazy high. Like we're not straight up going into the 6, you know? We're just going up to 3 gases for now. A fort base, about to finish up. We could already start mining some minerals there. We have an evo chamber coming into. Do we have... Yeah, okay, we don't have a road warren, so we're just going to be straight up Hydra then. Adepts are shading back home. And we're going to have I think some type of stalker push behind all of this. We have 3 gateways. We're going to have 3 gateways, as well as Blink and +1 about to finish up. 5th base here on the far right. More extractors, and look at this, 3 more drones. So Dark already going over his worker count of what he did in that last game. We're only 6 minutes into the game, although if you lose this many workers, perhaps not that great. I'm not sure why these guys are running back, but yeah, like expose myself a couple more times to these oracles. Like, yeah, wild play there, buddy. Do appreciate the confidence, though, in your queen's ability to keep the drone safe. All 6 queens are here, by the way. Legit, every single queen is here. That is pretty nutty. So 6 workers have gone down. You have 4 more drones on the way. So we're just going to continue our worker count, just pumping up those numbers. Another thing that has been different here out of Dark, I was going to say worries me, but it doesn't really worry me because I've seen him use units, but it's the late infestation pits. If you ask any other Zerg what the most important thing is right now, in Protoss versus Zerg, it's going to be that fast hive, because you want to get to Lurker so you can start doing stuff. Dark does not feel the need to quickly tech into anything. He doesn't actually seem to feel the need for tech whatsoever. He seems completely content with just staying on like Ling Hydra lair tech and having a good time with that. And I mean, once again, he's actually holding this push relatively easily. This is a push of 66 workers against 85 drones, while 7 workers have been taken out. So this is technically a 92 drone defense against a 3 base, 66 worker attack. And Hero's not dealing any damage. Very good start here for Dark. Very, very good start. He's up to 8 gas already. Now throws down the infestation pit and the Lurker then at the same time. This is another one of those things that Dark sometimes does, which other Zergs hate doing. Most of the time we see the Lurker then timed out together when the hive starts. That is because once you start the hive and the Lurker, then they kind of finish at the same time. You can start your upgrades instantly. But Dark says, hey, actually getting slightly faster Lurkers might have some value, even if you don't have the range or the quick burrow. So that's just a different type of setup once again. Dark just does things a little bit different. Or a little different, very different a lot of the time. He's just pure Ling Hydraing at this point. And Links, by the way, 0 upgrades. No melee, no nothing here. Okay, these are naked Links. All by themselves. Not sure what to do. Fort base now goes down here for Hero. It's going to make Zealot attacks difficult to deal with, by the way. Like a Zealot run by and all you have is naked Links. Ooh. Wouldn't want to be you, buddy. Would not want to be you. There's no unit in the wall here. 5th base not up. I think Dark probably thinks that... Oh no, he's actually instantly gonna scout the bottom fort. I like that. 6 queens moving towards the bottom side here, towards the 3rd base. This was just trying to defend it. That's all 6 queens. Now just 5 remaining. This is a beautiful arc here. Look at that. Good luck storming if they're all in a line like that. Now he's actually clumping up a bit more. Storm's going to come down from the high ground. Oh, it's not done yet. Lucky him. Base gets taken out. 184 supply. Hive is about to finish up as well. We have Overlord speed on the way, as well as +2 on the range. I wonder how Overlord speed is going to be utilized. That is definitely interesting. Hero wants to push out, which is understandable because his position kind of sucks. He's like, hey, I want to do something here. Maybe get a kill on a base. But it's also risky because he only has 3 storms remaining right now. Now, 3 storms can go a long way if you're playing against 100 links. 100 unupgraded links. How is that even a thing? That makes legitimately no sense. They don't deal damage and they die quick. It's now officially the worst part of his comp. He's getting a Nidus network and his first few lurkers. Seeing the Nidus here is freaking crazy because he just killed a 4th base while being on 5 bases himself. So he knows, Dark knows that all he needs to do is freaking survive, but he's already thinking of the aggressive move here. It's like, okay, how do I kill my opponent after I hold this off? That is what Dark is thinking about. I'm surprised not to see Adrenal Glands. Once again, 84 links are out, no upgrades. These guys are practically useless. They should not be capable of doing anything. And like, not anything at all. Can we get a storm here, maybe? Yeah, not the greatest storm. Okay, this is okay storms. Bunch of links have now gone down. Lurker on the top side actually dealing a lot of damage here. Good splash on these Stalkers. So you get a blink in forward. I'm a little bit afraid here for Dark once more. Lurker on the bottom side now tries to run in the links, get us around. There's no storms on those links quite yet. We get a blink back, 150 supply to 177. 20 more Hydras on the way. This was an okay fight for Hero, but I don't think he has the sustain to continue going. More Lurkers are now showing up as well. 20 more Hydras are on the way. We have the Hydra lunge already, the Nanomuscular Swell upgrade. Upgrades are going to be 2-2 versus just +2 attack. Now, the army composition of Dark now is better than before because he's gotten rid of all of those useless links and now consists of pure Hydra Lurker. And that is an army that, you know, packs a bit more of a punch. We have a Zealot flank coming in, a blink in forward as well. I think we have 2 more storms available, but that's going to be the end of this push then. Because without storms, you just can't stop this. Come on, final storm. Can we get it? I think Hero actually needs to pull back a little bit here. And that's exactly what he's doing. He's going to throw down a fleet beacon. Maybe +3 attack at some point as well. For now, we're just seeing the shield upgrade. It's also armor. Over the +3 attack. Okay. Interesting move. Says, hey, maybe I want to deal most of my damage with Storm and just want my units to stay alive a bit longer, which kind of understandable. You know, not the end of the world. We have the 4th base up in mining. Dark probably is feeling some type of pressure to try and do something. So he's going to find another Immortal. I think that's like the 2nd one he found here, by the way. He's going to catch a couple of these Stalkers out too. Nidus in the main base doesn't quite go down. I think that was the original plan there. Now we're going to have a Nidus down here. And what's the Lurker count in it? 11. 3 Immortals versus 11 Lurkers. That's going to be a lopsided fight in favor of the Lurkers in my mind. In favor of the Lurkers, absolutely. Good first storm though. Yeah, you hit like 2-3 storms and you're banging. Gonna get a Nidus in the middle, and what's this? 7 more Lurkers. Spire, getting ready for the Tempest transition. Oh, Dark. Dark is such a beast when it comes to movement, man. He's such a movement machine. Like, he actually has the moves like Jagger. If Jagger was one of the best StarCraft players in the world. Jesus Christ, this guy is good at it. No gases, by the way, on this 4th base yet. So, not as much time pressure here on Dark as I initially thought. But yeah, I mean, he's just going to kill him straight up. He's just going to walk in here. He's going to kill this. There's no recall available. So these units, yeah, they're going to walk straight to these Lurkers. There's like freaking 16, 17, 18 Lurkers here. 4th base is going to go down another time. Dark with, what did I say? If you have a good early game, Dark is so ridiculously good. He had the late tech. It doesn't matter. He had 86 drones, okay? Dark is the only Zerg in the world, perhaps together with Zero, that gets these types of resources lost in the resources lost tab. It is insane how good he is. In the micro, in the unit movement, he knows where to fight, he knows how to split. Like, he's a freaking marvel, man. This guy is so good. He's so good. He now has, oh, the Knight is in the main base. Oh, you forgot to kill the, oh. No, not 12 Lurkers in your main. Oh, how unfortunate. Bam. He just keeps going, man. 12 workers going down, +3 you're never gonna get. This was done with 3-1 upgrades overall against 2-2-1. Mothership now shows up. Would be, actually there's no detection. It's not gonna be a big deal because it's 80 supply against 175, but it could have been a big deal. But it ain't. Alright, this thing is gonna get sniped here by, by the Hydras. GG. We'll be heading into our final game. This guy is actually surreal. This is so insane for me to watch. He legitimately just played one of the sickest games with like ridiculously good early game on a map where it's not easy to have good early game. All right? He opens up with a freaking whatever the hell it was. Like just a standard opener. 86 drones, defends everything, and boom, there we go. It's like, you know what? That was fun, that win. You know what would be more fun? Getting a freaking hatchery in my opponent's natural. I feel like that would be more fun. It's like, Dark. Dark. What? Who are we doing this for, you know? Because who is getting the benefit of you doing weird shenanigans in the early game? Because I have a feeling it's not you. He's done weird stuff twice and lost twice. He's like, you know what would be fun? Freaking do it again. I'll freaking do it again. It's like, he can't even take his own natural right now. Here's like, oh, just patrol this probe. He could plop down a freaking pylon here if he wants to. I don't give a crap. Doesn't have to, because the pool, you know, has started already. He can delay this for a long freaking time. He really can't afford to lose this probe, though. Probe is important. This thing is going to move back. I think you build a pylon here. If I'm being real, I think, yeah. This is phenomenal. I think you can even let it finish, if I'm being real honest. Because you delay your opponent. Your opponent is delaying you a little bit. So they'll have to take this as their natural. You're going to go like Zealot, Adapt. Like, good luck, you know? Good luck with that. If you're split up, ooh, double hatch now at home. I mean, the first hatch went down 2 minutes in. This is not a good start. Like, this is just not a good start. This is a really bad start for Dark. He's also supply block, so I don't even think he used a build order for this. He cancelled one of his drones and started his Queen plus Overlord. I don't think he's ever played this before in his life. And he's just freaking improvising here, you know? He's legit just improvising the entire early game. This is also not good. Long distance mining is worse than oversaturating your main base up to 20 workers. He's not even properly saturated on these two patches. It is crazy to me that we have a player that is legitimately a top 6 player in the world, whose entire early game is just improvised. He just does whatever he wants. He actually just doesn't care. I don't think he's very result focused at all. He's like vibes based. Dark is like the definition of being vibes based. It's like, oh, hatch across the map sounds funny. Like long distance mining. Rather than... Like, he has a close mineral patch that is not mining with 2 workers. And then a far away with 3 stacked on top. Another far away with 3 stacked on top. He's losing just based on this. It's like freaking... Like 60, 70 minerals a minute are being lost like that. That is insane. And then another like freaking 50, 60 minerals being lost with the long distance mining. Like, he's just giving up resources for free. Because he's vibes based. Because it's funny. This is all a joke to him. This is a guy that made freaking 1.2 million playing StarCraft 2. He's just hanging out with the boys. So it's surreal. This is actually surreal to me. I really wonder if Dark would tighten up his early game a little bit. Like, how far off would he be off of Serral, you know? Because it's not just this, it's also like the weird type of supply blocks that we so often see out of him. Like just the odd things that he does. But then he gets into like the mid game and the late game. It's like, this guy is a magician. An absolute magician. Except his tricks are real, you know? You know, the magician, you always know there's a trick behind it. But Dark, he just does it. Like, you see Dark walk on water, it's like, oh, that's sick. You know it's him. Like, there's no mirrors underneath the water or anything like that. You know, no weird tricks. Like, he saws a woman in half. Like, she's freaking gone, man. Wait, that would just be killing someone. Never mind. That's not what he did, guys. That's not what I was going for. She's still alive, I meant. She's just in 2 parts, you know? No shenanigans, no trickery in there. Dude, that would be a terrible trick. Now I'm gonna saw a woman in half. She's dead. They're like, what? Yeah, that's why you shouldn't let a StarCraft player do your magic tricks. Your illusions. Alright. This is gonna finish up. We have 44 workers to 42. As this is not a good start. This is just not a good start. I feel like the best thing Dark could do is just watch some tutorial videos. I don't even really care who it's by. Like, it doesn't have to be another pro player. You could be watching some freaking, some like loco early game tutorials. I'm pretty sure it would be better than whatever the hell it is that Dark is performing here. Like the bronze the Grandmaster or something, like a standard build. Like, how is it possible that this guy just dies in the early game half the time? That's crazy to me. That's actually crazy to me. He's not in a good spot right now. He's really not in a good spot. He doesn't even have a lair. He managed to get the worst of all worlds, not just of both worlds. But he has a late lair, he has a low worker count, high hatchery count, and no upgrade. And no units. Like, if you were to benchmark his build compared to any other standard build, he is down in every way possible. He found the most efficient way to be behind. In absolutely everything. 5 more overlords on the way. He's down 8 workers and he can't defend the first move out. It's not a good start, boys. He's gonna need to run by or something. Like, I just don't think he can trade. Like, if you trade even 1 for 1 at this point, which is unlikely to happen against double Oracle Stalker, you're still losing by a very significant margin here. A very significant margin. 26 more links, +1 not even done. Lair now starts. Like, even if his lair was done, a Hydra then done, and his +1 done, and he had 8 more workers, I still wouldn't like his position. I still think, oh, he's behind. That is how bad this spot is that he finds himself in. I just don't understand it. This is like if Messi were to enter the pitch and before he gets on there, like, he grabs like a knife out of his football bag and stabs both of his legs. He's like, oh, that's an interesting move. I wonder if that's going to improve his speed early on. It's like, no, it's not. You have like a couple of guys going, actually, that's how Messi just prepares for the games. You just don't understand because you never played football at a very high level. It's like, mate, there is legitimately no way in hell that stabbing your own legs before the match is going to improve your gameplay. All right? It's not possible. Now, you don't actually know enough about it to really judge him. Are you even a real football player? Like, piss off. This is good movement, though, with these links. Absolutely. +1 not done. If +1 was done here, it's still going to be rough. But he managed to kind of climb back up into it. He has 70 workers. He has a lot of cash in the bank, though, is an issue. He really needs to pump some Hydras out soon. It's just going to be so hard for him to, like, get an effective trade here. You want to be up, like, 15, 20 supply, maybe. At least 15 supply, I think. And then with the +1, you can't attack pre-+1. You're just not dealing enough damage against the Stalkers. Like, these trades are going to be extremely one-sided. There's triple oracles, there's stasis, so you can't even really commit to a surround. Like, you're not going to kill anything. You're just going to be bleeding out, which is why you often need a couple of Hydras in there, so you at least have consistent damage. But yeah, I just don't think it's going to be enough. You see the resources lost just keeps going up. Dark is already down 20 supply. What an absolutely terrible way to end this series, in which Dark really has showed some phenomenal gameplay. And then some of the opposite of phenomenal gameplay. Yeah, I'm really sad about this. I'm quite sad about this. But let's not linger for too long. Hero also played very well. Like, I don't want to, undersell Hero's performance here. Like, he made these things happen. You give these spots to a worse player. Like, I managed to go 0-3 against all of this. Doesn't matter how many hatch blocks he misses. But you have 2 equally skilled players. You can't allow yourself to have an early game where you're like 70 seconds behind a standard benchmark. It's absolutely not viable to do that. I mean, he tried, but it just ain't. All right, it's going to be it for me today. If you did enjoy this, please subscribe to the channel. That's the one thing you can do that helps me really an enormous amount. So yeah, just if you're not subscribed yet to the channel, just subscribe to the channel. If you are subscribed to the channel, be sure to share this video with your friends. If you don't have any friends, just leave a comment down below. And maybe you guys can find each other, form a little friendless community. And just like that, you have made some friends. All right, it's going to be it for me today. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye.